Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 kill team video. Today I'm doing something different and showing off my hand of the Archon kill team, where I'll just be going over my kill team composition in general from how I painted it and its narrative and stuff. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this video. Did you enjoy it? Would you like to see me cover more of my kill teams like this? And yeah, if you want, I've got a Discord. You can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support, and an affiliate link to Element Games if you want to give me some more support for free as well. But yeah, so today I'm going over my Hand of the Archon kill team, which is of the Jade Kabal, which is my own Kabal, which I started, oh gosh, when Drukhari were originally Dark Elder in their 5th edition update. And I just wanted to go over this because I posted that I painted them all up on the weekend. People had a lot of questions and stuff. Some really good Drukhari fans could notice what I did with this kill team, and I thought it'd just be fun to go through that and show it all off, because I really like the Hand of the Archon, not just from the rule side. I'm a big Eldari fan and player. I started playing Craftworld Eldar back in, oh my gosh, 4th edition, and you know, I've been with Drukhari since their range refresh, so they do mean a lot to me. So I'll be going through all of that because I've actually spent a lot of time on this kill team. So, you know, a lot of people enjoyed me showing off my kill team collection. So there should be another, you know, nice change of pace instead of just competitive content, because I'm actually a bit of a hobbyist, you know. I can paint and play. But yeah, let's get into it. So this is my kill team, the Rapturous Shadow of the Jade Hand Kabal. So my Jade Hand Kabal is basically, because I like painting green, well, I like green. Can't even see, but I've got a green screen behind me. But basically my Jade Hand Kabal is an offshoot of the Black Heart Kabal, you know, because they've got varying shades of green. And, you know, here are some models that were the first models I painted for this army. But effectively they're an offshoot of the Black Heart. Some would say they're valiant rivals, fighting their own ways. Some believe they're just, you know, underlings of Vect, given the illusion that they're rivals when they're secretly just more of his enforcers. But as it comes with Kamara and the Dark City, everything is a lie and all the lies are correct. So that's basically my Kabal. They also work with quite closely with their own witch cult, as well as homunculus covens, who also like to adopt the color of the Jade Hand just to show their allegiance, well, their believed allegiance. But for this kill team altogether, it is the Rapturous Shadow of the Jade Hand Kabal. Their quirk is striking swift and deadly, because, you know, like all Drukhari, the Jade Hand specializes in brutal and fast assaults. Their background of desolators, so they love destruction of all its kinds, just the art of destruction. They love all their ancient Eldari tech, like especially dark light weaponry, that not only just kills opponents, but immediately snuffs out all trace of them, or such barbaric weapons that result in numerous levels of pain. They just delight in that kind of destruction. And their base of operations is a shadowed subrealm of the Dark City, allowing them to do lightning strikes, not just across certain planets, but the entire galaxy. Once again, maybe hinting that they are actually underlings of Vect, or have broken away from the Black Heart Kabal, which is very dangerous for them, but, you know, so is living in the Dark City. Now, if I play these guys in narrative, I'm going to try and build a display board showing their warp portal base, so that gives me some more modeling opportunities. But I think that really fits how my kill team works. You know, they've been dispatched by my lead Archon to do, well, basically capture slaves, blow up stuff, and, you know, why not do both at the same time? As well as, you know, actually furthering the goal of the Kabal most of the time. So as for the kill team as a whole, here it is now. So it's basically painted in a Sons of Horus scheme. So I got a lot of questions about this. So I believe it was from the Warp, but I'll link it in the episode description. But it uses scale 75 paints. So effectively it's from a black undercoat, then it's Archon Jade airbrushed over, then it's Surfer Orc Flesh, Zenithal highlighted with an airbrush, and then a final airbrush highlight of Surfer Orc Flesh and Pale Flesh, all scale 75 paints. And then I just oil pin washed it, although the oil wash messed up a bit, so I had to take a lot off so they don't look as transitioned. And then I use an edge highlight of the airbrush color, because if you paint it on, even though it's the same color, it looks more intense as a highlight because it's more concentrated. And that's basically it. I actually painted my Corsairs in the same green. This was the color I planned to paint it. Well, I painted some of my Drukhari army in, or my new ones anyway. So it's a bit long, but, you know, there is what the kill team looks like as a whole. Not the best picture, but I tried. And now I will just go into the operatives, because I've actually named them all based on, like, because I use the tool. Everything I've named is basically an inspiration from the Soul Shackle book, which shows you all this narrative stuff to use, which I've done for myself, because I gave up kind of using random name generators and just searching the codexes. So this helped me a lot. But going off with my leaders, you know, I was tempted by Duke Sickless, the Serpent. You know, he never goes out in the same outfit more than once. So I was thinking, oh, you know, I could just have a leader outfitted differently 3 different times. But then I was like, I'll just have 3 different leaders, because the Drukhari, you know, they're very competitive with themselves. And also it allows me to use stuff from my Drukhari army that I haven't had a chance to. So my first leader is a Narcus Poison Blade. So this is an Arch Cyberite with Blast Pistol and Venom Blade. You know, the Venom Blade, I actually used Striking Scorpion over just, I painted it metallic and, like, you know, highlighted and dry brushed it. And then I just painted some thinned Striking Scorpion green with Contrast Medium. And then once that was dry, I used some Warp Lightning Glow, basically a brighter green, just in the recesses. And the weird thing, because it was all metallic, it actually, I thought I had to paint it white, like where the bulb and the cable are. But because it was such a bright metallic after a dark under, like dark metal, it just highlighted really well. So I was like, that's perfect. It just, he looks really cool, and it turned out really well. He's my main leader, and, you know, that was cool. Then I have Zerul Flickerblade. This is my Arch Cyberite with Splinter Pistol and Power Weapon. So this is actually the Archon I was going to use for my Drukhari army. So I modeled one before made from an Incubi, but it didn't stand out too much. So this is just the plastic one, plastic Archon from the Battle Force with an Incubi head, and then I'm using the normal Cyberite Power Weapon arm and the normal Splinter Pistol, because I'm not a fan of the crossed arms, and I didn't glue on the chain waist gems because I didn't want to. The only issue is this model turned out really nice. I actually bent the side of the cape, so it actually allowed me to paint more of it. The only issue is I like to paint my Incubi heads, like the face plates, white. The white just messed up here. It's really weird. I paint them really thin on my wet palette, and after the first coat dried, it just went uneven, and I was like, there's no way to fix this. So I'm a bit annoyed at that, but I'm like, I'll either, because I've got a spare one because I bought 2 Battle Forces, I'll either build another one or strip him. But I'm really happy with how he turned out, especially the Power Weapon, because it's just, what do you call Corax white, washed Athematic blue, and then just the edge highlight of white. And the cape I really like because of all the skin tones. And then for my final leader, I have Kaizak the Cruel, who is an Arch Cyberite with Splinter Pistol and Agonizer. So this is actually my Witch Hecatrix for my Drukhari army. I've actually built this from one of the Forge World Escher characters with just a Hellion arm, the like witch leader from the troop unit, Agonizer, and this another witch head. Really happy with how this turned out as a like conversion kit bash. The skin turned out really weird for some reason. It was painted the same way as the rest. So he's like Iron Arc skin, washed it with like one of the flesh washes, then used like the Ideneth Deepkin skin and went up. But it didn't, for some reason, it looks a lot flatter than it should be. But I really like how this turned out. The Agonizer, I was agonizing over how to paint, but I just used an airbrushed. So I did Araman blue and just added layers of white until I got to pure white, and that was just a quick airbrush. I didn't want to do lightning bolts because I was going to go mad, but I like how it turned out, and those are my 3 leaders, each warring amongst themselves to actually earn the favour of their Archon. Now go through the specialists, because I've named them all. I go all the way when it comes to narrative. So first we have Vivifrax the Blood Breather, who is my Crimson Duelist. So I just gave her the helmet with some hair, because I like all helmeted Drukhari, but she turned out really well. Oddly a lot flatter than I intended, but still fine. Then I've got Vefa the Pale, who is my Disciple of Yelindra. So as you can see from her, I went with I like painting them as nocturnal, so with black eyes with white irises, which is also much easier to paint than normal eyes. Skin once again went a bit weird. I think that's just because of the Ideneth paints, but I was really impressed how I did the poison, because once again it was the same way, contrasts over just grey. So I went grey, washed it, grey, then washed it with the contrast and highlighted with grey and some white. And it looked a bit odd, but then once I matte varnished everything, it looked fine. And I really like how she turned out. You can even see on some of the vials that they're not fully leveled. They're kind of tilted where she is, because I just like doing that with vials, because she's got red poison vials, so that's really cool. Then I have Drevak of the Obsidian Needle, who is my Elixicant. So I use the head from the Corsairs. So he's actually got a Spirit Stone intact, whether not for himself, but more likely for torture or a trophy. And I just like the bandana, because I meant to use him for the Corsairs, but I forgot to use that head. And I was like, this would be perfect, because he's got this Baroque, you know, like how these Elixicants are supposed to be like esoteric individuals. So I've just given him a nice head. And as you can see, it doesn't show great in the picture because of the angle of the lighting. But he's got a green toxin, which is, you know, you can see the levels, how it's slanted. Then he's got a red toxin and a purple toxin, and below that, a slightly red toxin. Because if you notice, I like to represent the green one as Painbringer, purple as Hypex. And then if you see, like, they've got their drug tubes on, like, their left side. And that was originally pale green. But then I realized it contrasted horribly with the armor. So I just painted it white, then Blood Angel's red contrast, and then just a highlight of orange. So just some nice contrasting there. And once again, showing off the leveling. Made me go mad, but I like doing that because I'm an idiot. Then we have Kereus the Flenser, who is my Flayer. So I decided to go, because of the hair, I was like, I'll make this a female too. So I went with like the leather skin spiked body to match the legs. So it shows like, this is effectively some kind of super rack, in my opinion. Like, I bloodied up the weapons because, unlike the other Drukhari, the Flayer was all about running in and just cutting stuff up. So I sponged on one layer of blood for the Blood God, and then once that was dry, I sponged on some more. And once that was dry, at the edge of the blade, I effectively edge highlighted the blood with blood for the Blood God, just to make it look like really fresh. And I didn't show it on the pictures, but on the tools on her back, I put blood for the Blood God as well to show like she's just a messy individual. She's not as an elegant fighter as everyone else. She just runs in and cuts stuff up. And I like giving the red glow on the eyes just to break it up a bit more. That was just, you know, thin layers of white with Blood Angel's red contrast. Then I have Thrade Vorpex, who is my gunner with a blaster. So I'll actually show him also with Freskuril Vorpex, who is the heavy gunner with the dark lance. So these are actually my Trueborn from my Drukhari army, and I decided, you know, because they're painted in the same way, I'll just use them in this kill team. Because instead of making my kill team Trueborn, these are my two Trueborn. These are like, I like to call them the Dark Light Brothers. So they're actually made from the Shadow Hunter elves from Age of Sigmar to make like my Trueborn stand out. But effectively, I like to imagine as like, these are like the trusted right hands of my Archon. He sends them to delete stuff. So he's like dispatched 2 of his personal guard to make sure this kill team actually does what it's supposed to do. And I'm like, yeah, they're just basically Darklight Brothers. So they actually have the same Kabalite name, and they're using my Darklight weaponry. So those are those guys. Then I have Vipus Barbtongue, who is my Sky Splinter Assassin. I went with like purple and then like a deep red just to shake things up a bit. Really happy how this guy turned out, especially the eyes. And the bird isn't too bad either. And then closing out my last 4 operatives. Firstly, I have two of my Kabalite agents, Null and Zesh. I like to think they're trying to prove themselves, so they only have a single name. They haven't earned their Kabal name, so they've only got first names. Then I also have Akar Sakil, who is my gunner with a shredder. Once again, I've tried to match leather legs with spiked leather bodies. And then also I have Akirian the Bleak, who is my heavy gunner with a splinter cannon. So I like to imagine him, he's quite dour. All he cares about is destruction, and especially death, agonizing death, with his, well, you know, splinter cannon. And then, you know, the shredder just shreds stuff as well. But that's the kill team as a whole. You know, I like to explain each of the individual operatives, because for this kill team, they really do all have a role for me. Like, I made specific choices when I was building them as well as painting them, and I feel the names match well enough with them to show off what I like to show. So, you know, if I bring these guys to tournaments and you see the roster, you'll be very annoyed at the names, but I will probably read them out every game. But overall, yeah, that's pretty much it for my kill team. I hope this kind of made sense because, you know, I actually do generally try to stick to a theme when it comes to a kill team. Like I did it with my Corsair Void Guards. I just never finished them. I mean, I finished the first kill team. I didn't finish the full roster. But this kill team, I have a full roster. As I said, if I have enough time, I'll build them a display board, like a small display board, because I got inspired by, it's the Drukhari guys. They basically, one of them, let me bring up his name. I can't believe I've forgotten them. The Real Space Raiders. So poorly. His Corsairs look amazing. About his like Drukhari. So I kind of want to do like a mini display board with that warp portal. So I'll figure out how to show like attacking from a shadowed realm. So I think that's really cool. But I really like love the Drukhari. So I hope this video made sense because, you know, I put a lot of effort into this kill team. And I think it shows how much effort you can put into kill team. Especially like, even though I don't talk about the narrative content that much, there's so much fun in the narrative. Like, and I've only used about a little bit, just like the first stuff for naming what my kill team is, its role, its base of operations, and all my operatives. So I'm going to try and play more narrative campaigns with these guys and just have more fun. Because when I play narrative, I'll just take slave raiders and just go, gonna raid all those slaves. But I hope this kind of makes sense. It's a long spiel. And it does seem a bit mad, especially if you're not a Drukhari fan. But I have probably too much knowledge about the Drukhari faction, as well as the Eldari faction as a whole. So, you know, and once again, the other thing, I tied all the basing together with flowers. So this is Gamer's Grass flowers. So all my Eldari miniatures have, to represent that they're on like Maiden Worlds, they have those bright flowers, which contrast also with the color scheme. Because I'm like bright garish Eldari because I'm a classic at heart. And then, you know, you can see on some of the bases, but basically I've got a green stuff print roller, and on my main army, most of them have the green stuff world printed Eldar runes on the bases. I just didn't have the time to do that here. You can see it on the Darklight Brothers, but I didn't have time to do it for the whole kill team because it takes a while to roll up all the green stuff and then wait for it to set. But basically what I'm trying to say is, how you can tie the modeling, naming, paint scheme, and even basing of a kill team to fit your narrative wants and needs. And I hope this was fun, you know, because people really liked me showing off my kill teams. And as I said, this kill team really means a lot to me. I have so much fun playing them. It does help that they are very good, but they're so perfect. Like, even with their flaws, I love them so much. The only thing I did realize is I varnished after, you know, I did a varnish before the oil wash. I think next time, because I've actually, like when I painted my crew, I didn't varnish them. I think I'm not going to do that next time and just varnish them at the end, because even though I did a thin coat of varnish, it messed up a lot of the details, which you may be able to see on some of the closer pictures. But overall, I really love this kill team. It gets, you know, 10 slaves out of 10 for everything, and it's critting my heart. But, you know, that's pretty much it for me today. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this video. Did you like me going over my kill team, and would you like to see more? Let me know. And remember, I've got Discord. You can check out for free in the episode description below, as well as an affiliate link to Element Games, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. And I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So, for my adepts of the crit, I have Samaru, Screech, Sam, Robin, Ninja Lee 83, Nick, Kenzie, John Thomas, Eric, Captain Murder, Daniel, Dad of Goldens, Average Joe 27, and Arthur. And then for my veterans of the crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much. Your support really means a lot to me and helps support the channel. But yeah, that's actually pretty much it. I was going to do other stuff, but I didn't have time. It's been really packed. There's a lot of content I need to do, and I need to paint up some more kill teams. I think I want to paint up Pyrotech Circle next. Not because I don't know if they're getting buffed or not. I mean, they're probably getting buffed, but I did a quick paint job and I just need to finish some details. So I think that would be cool. You know, you can see me suffering battle reports trying to use them, but I think that would be cool. But yeah, I've tried to do something pretty chill before I go back into doing some more competitive content. So, because I like to show I'm not just a competitive gamer, I'm also pretending to be a narrative gamer as well. No. You know, I really enjoy the background. Like, I think that's why I enjoy Kill Team so much, because I just love the Warhammer 40,000 universe. But yeah, I've rambled a lot, But remember, until next time, no matter how well painted and thought out the narrative of your kill team is, there's always a chance to lose unless you can roll a crit, and as long as you're backed by Vect. That helps a lot too.